Hi, welcome to this new section in which we're going to talk about two different verb tenses that we are going to use to describe actions in the past. And the title of this section is Difference Between Past Simple and Present Perfect. You already know both tenses, but we are going to make sure that you know the difference between them so that you can use the right one according to each situation that you are trying to describe and that took place in the past. So for that, we are going to use some examples. So in this section, we're going to make sure that you understand the difference between them. Let's look at the first example, and it's my parents moved to this city 20 years ago. I want you to think about it and agree with me that that is an action that took place at a specific time in the past, 20 years ago. It happened in an instant. The moment they arrived into the city, they moved there. Do you agree? It happens in an instant, and it's an action that started and ended in the past. It means it started and ended in the past. It means that they moved. One moment, 1 second, they hadn't moved. The next moment, they had moved. So it's an action that took place at that time. To help you see that, I have this image here that you can see, which is a timeline. You may have seen something similar to this in the past, but let's make sure that you understand it. So that moving into the new city has been marked at a specific time in the past, and that's why you see that line there. And for actions that happen at a specific moment in the past, we use the past simple, and that's why we say my parents moved to this city. All right? Now, let's see the difference between another verb tense that we use to describe actions in the past, and it's the one that we use in the following example. I have lived in this city all my life. I have lived in this city all my life. Let's look at the timeline. As you can see, if I started moving or I started living in this city sometime in the past, and during that time I have been living here up to this moment, starting the past, and up to this moment I have been living there. That means that that action started in the past and has continued up to the present time. It is likely that it continues a little bit more, and that's why I can say I have lived in this city, because from the past until this moment I have been doing that. So I have lived here. So for that we use the present perfect. Why? Because we are not saying when the action definitely has ended in the past. So if it continues until now, we say I have lived. If it ended in the past, we say I lived. That is the main difference. All right? I know that you understand it, but let me give you one extra example. Look at this. I learned how to ride a bicycle when I was 3 years old. I remember the moment I learned, and that happened at a very specific time in the past. And that's why we use the past simple. I learned. But if I mention the fact that I have ridden a bicycle for 10 years, it means that I have known how to ride a bicycle for 10 years during all that extended period of time that started in the past and continues until now. I am using for that the present perfect. All right? If I just remember, you may remember this from the past, from a previous level, but if you don't specify when the action took place in the past, you use the present perfect. But we're going to use them always in combination, the past simple and present perfect, because there is that difference that is illustrated in that image of the timeline. All right? So that's what I want you to understand, but I would like to ask you to continue to reflect on this by examining some time expressions that can be used to refer to describing actions in the past, but For some might be more suitable for actions that happened at a specific moment, and some others may be more appropriate for actions, for describing actions that happened for some time in the past and may continue until this moment. All right, so here is the list of instructions of expressions, but let me read the instructions with you. Sort the following time expressions indicating whether they could be used for descriptions in the past simple, specific time, or the present perfect. All right, so here is the list. I want you to please pause your video and see how you would classify those time expressions. Would you put them in the box under past simple, or would you put them in the box under present perfect? All right, think for a moment, pause your video, complete the assignment now. All right, I hope that you did it, and that is all you had to do for this video. But let's make sure that you understand the answers. So let me show you my answers. Here they are, and let's make sure that you understand what each word means as I pronounce it for you. All right, so make sure that you understand yesterday, in 2005. Why? Because they refer to specific moments in the past. Last night, last week, last month, last Monday. All right, or when we have the expression ago, a week ago, 2 hours ago, some years ago, or when I was little, I lived here. All right, so, and on the other column we have already, just, yet, never, ever, like have you ever, I have never done this, I haven't done that yet. How long have you? For, which is during certain time, and since. All right, if there are some expressions that are not very clear for you, that you don't understand their meaning, please make sure that you look them up so that you can use them, because we're going to use those expressions to differentiate whether we are describing an action that needs the past simple or an action that needs the present perfect. All right, so we're going to continue to practice with these two tenses in more activities. So I'll wait for you on the next video.